Welcome to the InSyte Podcast, where usually Seth does the introduction, but today I'm going to steal his thunder. Today we're talking about a topic we've never spoken about on the podcast, and that's away from the paid marketing side. We're talking about SEO for e-commerce brands, how to win at SEO if you're an e-commerce brand, and particularly in the AI age. So, welcome, Seth.
Thanks for having me, Mikey. Thanks for taking the intro over. It's so weird when
Sure.
that happens.
It was an honor. It was an honor. Um, I think how I want to start today is just to kind of chat about the two parts of SEO, and I think particularly speak about like the opportunity for e-commerce brands today. So if we separate SEO into, it's probably separated into three parts because it's probably more accurate that. So you have one, the on-page SEO stuff that does your site, is it as optimized as possible from an SEO perspective? Are alt images, image tags in there? Are meta descriptions correct? And so on and so on. Is it user friendly for Google? Is your page fast? And so on and so on. The second part of Google is all the backlinks that exist, and still backlinks are an important part of SEO. I don't think it will ever go away. And obviously, there's right ways to garner backlinks, and there's wrong ways to garner backlinks. But the part I really want to speak about today, which I think is valuable, is particularly your creation that you created for SEO, and particularly for e-commerce SEO, is content creation. And I think what's historically happened with content creation, particularly for e-commerce brands, is that they've viewed content as what's currently on the website from a product point of view. So here we have 1,000 products on a website. Have we spoken about the product correctly? Have we, given enough description? And I think the real value or the big hack which exists for e-commerce brands is content from a blog point of view, which brings in the right users that will then in turn buy their products, but to do it in a way that's hyperscaled, which we're going to go through today. What do you say, Seth?
Yeah, super keen to dive into this topic. I have been living the world of automations and the world of AI for the better part of a year now. Each month, I feel like I get more and more advanced, but I'm still learning each day. There's a lot to unpack. But yeah, I think traditionally, let's just discuss the approach of how someone would rank organically for new keywords if they aren't already on your site. And that would be going down the route of writing an article, writing a blog. And you'd go and you do a set amount of keyword research. You'd either use Google Planner or Google Keyword Planner or Ahrefs or one of these tools, and you would go and you would do keyword research and you try and find ideally 3 to 5 keywords that you want to rank for. And then what you do is you'd go choose those keywords, and then you would write an article on that topic, and organically and throughout the text you'd include these keywords, that all the keywords flow throughout the article, and that you've got your heading that includes the keywords and your meta description and so on and so forth. And in order to rank for these keywords, it's quite a manual process, obviously, because somebody has to go and sit and write these articles. And this has kind of been the challenge for ranking at mass for keywords for many people, because they'd have to go and they'd have to hire massive writing teams and content creators to go and write all these articles. I know some companies, like they make it mandatory that everyone has to write an article each month just so they can create all this content. And back in like 2020, or was it 2021 or 2020 where ChatGPT was released, Mikey? Can't actually remember.
It's a great question. I don't know.
I think 2021, 2020, 21, 22, late 2021. I think it was like November back then. Here comes ChatGPT on the block, an AI content creation tool that you can write pretty much anything. I know, like most people, when they jump onto ChatGPT, they are so blown away with what it can actually do. But when you go on this and you're like, and then, okay, going down that rabbit hole, then the guys, the SEO content creators, they would be like, okay, I want to write a blog on X topic. And ChatGPT, in its most basic form, produced rubbish, but it did produce some good stuff. And then people got more and more advanced with their like prompts and what they put in to create a pretty decent article, but still has quite a lot of human interactions with it. And fast forward to today, to the system that I'm going to show you, I've kind of taken that like 6 to 7 steps further from an original chat with ChatGPT to go and create content on scale that ranks well, that performs well, and is so effortless that, yeah, or not effortless because you still have to understand SEO and you still have to understand what you want to rank for and so on and so forth, but it's automated at scale.
Okay. So let's just back up a bit, just to kind of expand the
Yeah,
top, right? So
sure.
let's say you're a toy store, and you're selling Paw Patrol branded toys as one of your line items. What you would do back in the day, prior to ChatGPT and the likes, the two roadblocks you had, or the two limitations you had, is how quickly you can do the research. So, for example, what should you actually write about? So, when you're going to write a blog about Paw Patrol, you're going to say, should I write about the best toys for kids between the age of 3 and 8, or should you write a blog around the best Paw Patrol best Paw Patrol toys available in South Africa, where to buy, and you would almost use Ahrefs, SEMrush, one of the SEO tools, to actually look at all the relevant key phrases, decide on the best title, the best blogs to write based on what the keyword difficulty was of those blogs, how much volume existed for those blogs, what the commercial or transactional intent of those blogs. That's kind of your research phase that will exist. And that itself is a massively time-intensive and challenging process. The second challenge, or the second limitation that existed or still exists, is now that you've found these are the best 5 blogs to write about, who's going to write them? So I think to your point, that what people would do, they'll go ChatGPT, like the guy. So in the old days, people would write them themselves. In the newish days, the cheats, let's call them the cheats, right? They'll go ChatGPT and say, write a blog about this. But the blog had limited user value, and it had almost no SEO value because Google would just kick it out. It could kind of see straight away.
And it's actually, incorrect as well. It's just not
If anything, it had more user value than SEO value, but it probably had limited both. And what the AI boffins like Seth have been trying to do for a long time, let's call it a year, right? Have been trying to find a way to do what a human would do at scale. So do the research element at scale, do the content creation point at scale, and do it in a way that's good, that works. And today we're going to show you a crazy way that Seth has built to be able to, for any brand, particularly for any e-commerce brand, to be able to create a fortune of well-researched content at scale. So without further ado, Seth, let's see your beast. Let's see the back end of it.
Awesome. So let me just put this up here. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I'm sorry, you're going to miss out. Maybe switch to YouTube, but otherwise...
We'll describe it, don't worry. We're not going to leave this out. So, but before we go through it, let's give everyone maybe a summary of each step that's involved and what it does, and then we'll see it in action.
Perfect. So essentially this is what I'm calling the automated SEO writer in a nutshell. And essentially what it does is I've got a Notion-based template set up, just a database item, kind of like an Excel sheet, just Notion's, just a different version of that, where I'll pop in some information. I want you to write a blog article on this topic. I want you to focus on these keywords. Here's a little bit of an outline. Here's what I needed to cover. Here are the industries. Here's who it's talking to. Quite a lot of information actually that is in that Notion.
Where are you getting those topics from in that? How are you generating that?
So essentially it's from, I pull it from many different sources. Number one, what are my competitors doing? What are they doing to rank for these terms? So I can pull blogs and stuff that they've written from, analyze those, pull those keywords out of there, and those are in there essentially. Another element that I have is we run Google ads on a lot of paid keywords. And essentially, I just think that best practice is if you're going to run a paid ad on it, you essentially should also run a organic, or you should write an article using the same keywords in an organic way. So that way you're covering both bases because you're advertising on the top of the page and then you're also in the organic searches. It looks really good from as a user when you're on Google and you're looking for something. If someone's, you're just taking up more space, the more chance that you're actually going to win that conversion or that click at least. And many different other sources. There's like we actually take our podcast episodes here and we can turn those into, we take the main keywords and topics that we spoke about there, and that can be generated into a blog. Yeah, I think this kind of comes like, there's many different sources.
Essentially what you're
Sure.
doing, and this is what other e-commerce brands could also do, but there's multiple inputs from different sources. So at the moment, we use a select bunch of competitors. We take blogs that we want to be ranking for, or keywords that we want to be ranking for. We take their blogs, we put them. We then take our podcast episodes, and we basically like stick it into this little magic bot, and it basically creates blogs that are describing what we've spoken about. So it's taking all this chat that we're doing and putting it into a blog. And you can do this for a number of different sources, whether it be channels that you like to follow, be other competitor sites that you think are ranking well. You can basically say at scale, automatically, here Magic Bot, we're giving you all this data, go and create blogs out of that. Is that kind of it in summary?
Yeah, exactly. Like even a better way of even illustrating that would be like, hey, here's my competitor's site map. Here's 6 of my competitors' sites map. Pull all of that stuff. I want to rank for all of this, and then plug and play. So essentially, all of that gets plugged into this Notion template. Then this automation works as soon as a line or a row on that template is updated, then it starts this trigger. Then it will go there. It will grab all of the items, the database item ID on the blog. Then it will change the stage in the blog just as like a user interface. I know, okay, now that I've clicked this button, now this progress is going. So now that you've got your blog topic, your blog title, it's imperative that you actually write a valuable article. And this is where Perplexity AI comes in. Why Perplexity over ChatGPT to go and do research? Because Perplexity actually goes and does real research. It quotes sites, gets, it in essence acts as a researcher, and it gives you real insights, real information, and real facts, in fact, where ChatGPT can just go and make up nonsense, which is a real problem when you're writing articles that are designed for the user, designed to be informative, designed to add value. If you're providing people with fake stuff, you might as well have not written that article or contributed to the spam emails and spam in the world. So don't do that. So perplexity.ai. And essentially, we've got a whole flow of different ChatGPTs that chat to each other. So I don't know, like when people use ChatGPT, I think the best way to explain this is like when you open up a chat, you'd give it one specific purpose, or at least if you've ever tried to do it and you'd say, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, I want you to do all these different things, you normally get rubbish results. So in essence, what this does and why there's so many different ChatGPT inputs is we're making ChatGPT highly specialized. We're making this chat focused on creating the outline. And then lots of parameters within that outline. It needs to be this, it needs to be that, it needs to have this sequence, and it needs to pull all of this information, and all of them are connected. It needs to do all of that. Then once it's created the outline, I want to go and then write the blog based on the outline, based on all the information, based on all the keywords. Then once it's written the blog, I want it to create a compelling call to action at the bottom for the blog to make it relevant, make reason for someone want to convert or to buy said product. Thereafter, you need to SEO optimize the blog. So you need to ensure that you have the right title, a meta tag, and the article's SEO optimized, its keywords density is correct, and so on and so forth. This is where you really need to apply all of the best SEO principles, and you can even string this out a bit further. This is like one of mine. I actually think I'm going to make this 6 different steps. So that kind of just speaks on how detailed you should be with each step, because the more detailed you are, the better the result's going to be. Then it chats to ChatGPT once again, and this is where I actually code it, because otherwise, when it goes onto my website, it's not going to be identified correctly. So if it just puts out plain text, there's no heading ones, it's not SEO optimized. It's I might as well have just posted an article on LinkedIn and hoped it ranked. So essentially, this codes it, and then finally, the final step is it sends it to WordPress. But this is the most important thing here, and this is the point I want to stress the most, is it sends it as a draft. It does not publish it automatically, because at the end of the day, this is going out on your website. And would you be comfortable just posting something that you've got no idea what's about, what's going on, and it could be spitting out the most amount of rubbish? You need to read this article. You need to fact check it. You need to go through it properly and then post it. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's the whole sequence.
Wow. Okay. So I think, so I'll tell you the magic part I've seen again. It's very new for us. We've obviously tested ourselves as the first guinea pig first. We've gone from a capacity of, we have a team of internal writers. We've gone from capacity of writing 12 blogs a month to being able to pretty much produce, maybe not there yet with our daily inputs, but we'll probably be there about 100 blogs a day, which is crazy. The crazy thing is that blogs posted 2 days ago for pretty competitive, highly transactional search terms already ranking something like global search terms, like in the top 3 positions. So like one thing our concern was that would Google spit it out to say too much content and too AI, and a lot of the steps here are to try and prevent that and to make them as human as possible. So the good news is, at least on current results, that's not the case. And yeah, I think this is a crazy way to gain a team of 100 content writers with 20 researchers immediately. I think let's see it in action, Seth, as a final point. Let's go. Let's see how this machine works.
Yeah. So I'm actually, let me go here. I've got another one that I want to, let's demo this one. Because this one requires a bit of intake. This one's another one, which is also really cool. This one essentially spits them out at scale for the hospitality industry. It's quite a cool one. So let's run this one.
Sorry, yeah, try and outpace the thing as it goes. Like, tell us what it's doing at each stage.
Yeah, let me see if I can try and beat it. So at the moment, it's generating blog articles based on a sitemap. Then it's going through, and this, in fact, is actually slowing it down because it spits it out so quickly that otherwise the system freaks out. Then it decodes it using JSON script. Then it puts it through an integrator because there's multiple steps here, so we need to condense it into one. So Perplexity is doing the research now. It's spitting it out from there. Then very similarly to the other one, it's gone creating the outline, writing the blog, SEO optimizing the blog. This one's checking the grammar of the blog as well as humanizing the content using I'm actually trying to remember that scale. Sure, it's not going to come to me right now, but it's at a level 5 of whatever that scale is.
That's to prevent Google from saying this is too AI.
Essentially it's humanizing the blog, but then it's also making it at a lower readability level, so it's not producing lots of why is this not?
And then finally, can you show us the final spit out?
So essentially this is the final result. We've gone after the term and it wrote an article on how to choose the right marketing agency, and this is essentially the best result that you could have. Maybe we could be number 1 here, but we are number 2 in the organic results, but we are also number 1 in the paid results. So this is ideally your almost ideal outcome.
And when was that?
4 days ago. This was posted 4 days ago, and it's already ranking number 2, just for interest's sake.
Close.
And obviously you still have to, and as I said earlier, you should still go as a human, and AI content is never going to fully replace a human, but it produces incredible results with real facts and with SEO optimized content that would take a normal content team 2 to 3 business days to produce in less than 30 seconds, if that. And this is the final result as well. You can add other steps that it can go and generate this image for you as well. You can fully automate the system to rank for the right keywords, to sell your products online, to rank for said keywords, to generate leads. Essentially automate your whole content. And that's it. That's a wrap on today's episode of the InSyte Podcast. Unfortunately, our intro from earlier got cut off, hence the different shirt. But in essence, this is my new AI content system. We're still testing it out, but the results thus far have been really incredible. So I think some actionable tips that you guys could take going into your own SEO strategy is taking use of AI a lot more, using ChatGPT in more specialized ways, or even going out and building your own make optimisations.com scenarios. Otherwise drop a message down below and I'm happy to assist you with your own SEO strategy. So you can push your e-commerce store not only from an SEO perspective, but also from a paid perspective. We want to help you scale your stores. Go drop us down. So drop a message down below. And just a side note, we are on a mission to become the #1 e-commerce podcast in Africa. And I would really appreciate you leaving a review and a comment down below. That would really help us become the #1 e-commerce podcast in all of Africa. So cheers.